Man, here we are again, live on the road today in Wall, South Dakota. We told y'all a little bit about this stop. This is literally a stop in the middle of the road if you're traveling between, Sioux Falls on Interstate 90 heading into Rapid City. A lot of tourists come through here on their way to see Mount Rushmore. And we're at the very, very famous highway stop called Wall Drug. I assume what it started as a drugstore years ago, and their gimmick was they'd give you a free cup of water while you're out there traveling on the warm summer highways. And they've always had this 5-cent coffee, which inside the restaurant over there, you'll see plenty of people lining up to get, you pay it, you put a nickel in the box and get yourself a cup of coffee. That grew into a huge tourist stop. They've actually got a village here that people stop in. I'll show you around a little bit. That's sort of I'm in a back area. AJ, hope you're doing all right today. I just asked them, they said, where do you want to set up? I said, right by that buffalo. So if you can see behind me, there's a buffalo's ass. It's the best angle I could get to not be in the way.
Well, at least that buffalo won't charge you, though.
Yeah, he ain't coming at me. He's doing his thing over there. He and I have an understanding. He said, F around and find out. I said, okay, I'll stay back here. I would never walk behind a horse like this. I'd be afraid he'd kick me. But so there's a big stuffed buffalo. And it's just, this is a fun stop for kids. The area that you see there is basically this is called their back porch area. And inside that building, later I'm going to move that camera. If you can see to the left of the screen, or I guess the right of the screen, there's a bunch of old Western photographs that depict the history of this area, in particular this establishment. And it's just a museum in and of itself all down the wall. I find myself going back there to use the restroom, and I just stand there for 30 minutes reading the captions and looking at these pictures. But of course, a little bit of an outside shot of the back of this place. So hanging out at Wall Drug today, we'll probably have some interviews, some tourists coming through, but going to be lots of kids. AJ, I'm right across from a splash pad, and if it gets any hotter, I'm gonna go over there and get splashed. I'm just saying, I may take the camera with me, probably ruin some equipment, because I am outside, and right now it's 98 degrees. It's going up to 103 here today. But this was the best place for me to be. There's so many tourists that come through the dining room and eat. And by the way, I had an amazing cheeseburger just a little while ago. Really was good. That good old greasy kind of good, hot off the grill to get ready for the show. And they were so helpful. Let me just go ahead from the outset and say, a lot of places I'll show up and they say, well, there's your corner. And I start schlepping and hooking up stuff, and people are friendly. But they showed up with a team of people to help me cart the stuff in here. They had rolly carts. I had 4 or 5 guys. I had like a crew to set up, and I was like, this is like the old days of radio when there was a bunch of us on a location. So it was just nice. And the people here, one of them told me, he goes, we call it South Dakota nice. And I was like, you're exactly about that. You're just right about that. So more South Dakota today. Hopefully one more stop here before we head back south again. But and we'll get more into the location itself. There's so much news to get to today. It's a pretty eventful news day, and we're going to try to keep you all up with everything. Even though we're doing these road shows, our commitment is that we will not neglect the headlines, especially as serious things seem to be with the Iran situation and whatever this thing is on Thursday, as lots of headlines breaking today too. Plenty of your phone calls as well, like always, 545-9950. If y'all want to jump in on the show, we are here for you for that. And we're just going to do 4 hours of chit-chat here and see what happens. Let me start. I guess one of the things that folks are really anticipating in the news today, and AJ, I sent you some sound. Just give me a cue when you have that ready, is this thing with Trump on Thursday night. Now, we did get a hint last night. It was announced in the early part of our show, and we got a hint that it had to do with election fraud. And, man, they're either overselling this in a way I haven't seen things oversold in a long time. Now, Trump is not shy about hyperbole and pitching things. But I'm telling you, whatever he's going to do Thursday night, they have set up, they have put it on the tee, and they're talking about declassifying evidence we've never seen. We've never seen something that they've set up for people to access this information about how the 2020 election was straight stolen. Particularly, a lot of folks have focused in on the Georgia election, where Warnock and Ossoff amazingly carried a state that it didn't make any sense that those two would get elected in a state like Georgia, but there they are in the United States Senate. And both of those guys, of course, are on the defensive today. And we'll give you any other updates if anything else gets leaked out. But we still got, more than 48 hours to wait on whatever this is. So Trump today, Trump did not shy away from talking about how important or serious he thinks this address to the nation. This isn't a news conference where he sends the FBI out to do a press conference and answer some questions. This isn't just a media statement. Sometimes you'll put those together and have a little media statement to the public. This is being billed just like, it's what we used to do when we go to war or whatever. So maybe it's big. Maybe it's just another effort to get the SAVE Act some more traction, which with the state of the Senate right now, they wouldn't want to try to take a vote with the flux with Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham and all the stuff that has gone on in the Senate. But real quick, let's listen to the president. He had a quick gaggle inside the White House today. This is what it sounded like.
Are we anticipating your big announcement on Thursday night regarding election machines and integrity? Can you give us sort of a sneak peek about what to expect and tell
Well, I'd rather save it. It will concern that subject, and we'll have a couple of other things to
Why
say
should people
also.
watch, though?
But I'd rather save it, but it's really big news. It's really, really big news. And our country has to shape up. But that's what we're going to be talking about Thursday is it doesn't get bigger, because without free and fair elections, you don't have a country. We'll be discussing other things too, but it's going to be a very big announcement. Yeah.
So he said they'd be discussing other things too, and I don't know exactly what he's alluding to with that, but we'll all wait with anticipation, and wherever we land on Friday, I'm sure it'll be the thing everybody's talking about on Friday. Now, I'll go ahead and warn you, there have been a couple of occasions, and I spoke to this a lot yesterday, where, in Trump world, where he is constantly in front of the media, where he's constantly sort of bloviating, and I like his bloviating. I like the confidence. I like a president that loves his country and sticks up for his country and wants to fight and win. I love all that stuff. But sometimes there's a little letdown factor when you hope it's all right, or you hope it comes true, or you hope it's as big as he's saying that it is. And so I'm going to wait with some optimistic anticipation, but I'm
Well, unfortunately, we had lost Leland. We're going to try to get him back up. 205-545-9950. You can also check us out at Real Talk 99.5 TV on YouTube. Always stream
witnessing
us as well, too.
real time.
Looks like we got him
real
back
life.
here. All right.
Okay,
You're back.
AJ, I see that. Every now and then we might have a little glitch like that. I noticed that the satellite dish is rocking in the wind a little bit, and there's not much I can do about that. It's a pretty windy environment. That thing has to be outdoors, but sorry about that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you are on the road. You get situations like this as well. But we're going to try to get him back. Hopefully he'll come back up here pretty soon. 205-545-9950 as Leland's on the road. And what we'll try to do real quick until, let's see if I can get him back up. Are you back?
Yeah, man,
There
I
we
think
go.
I'm good to go. I can hear you now. I was apologizing for the satellite dish wobbling in the wind, and we also got these little kids running around it, which makes me nervous. I'm going to go spank one of them. But I had one spot to put this thing to try to keep foot traffic away from it, but it's a little bit windy, and when those things wobble, they can do that. But so far, it's been pretty good in the setup and testing as we've rolled along tonight. Anyway,
Well, if anyone's watching the YouTube, it's down right now, but we'll get that up pretty soon. But you still at least hear Leland.
So YouTube's not working? We don't have
Well,
YouTube?
the video streaming went down after this last glitch, and it's not back up yet.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, because that's going to take a minute to recover. Okay, we'll roll with it this afternoon. That's what we do when we're out here walking on the moon with these traveling shows. Let me talk to you about Alabama Gold Refinery and let you know that is, of course, a place you can go to do gold, silver, platinum exchanges. What's funny is in here there's see if I can find that real quick. If you go inside the museum just a little bit, there is a setup of a bunch of people panning for gold. It's sort of a place where you can go in. It's kind of over. Let me move that camera. Of course, you said the cameras aren't quite up yet. I'll show you all that in just a little bit. There's a place where tourists can come in here, and they've got a little artificial stream set up in the back where those folks are in the back, and you can sort of see what it was like back in the day to pan for gold. Big part of the West, big part of all the scenery out here. But today all you got to do is go down to Homewood on 29th, across from the Regions Bank, and go to Alabama Gold Refinery and let them try to help you out with whether it's you're going to bring your stuff in your things that you're not wearing anymore, not using anymore. Some people would call that scrap. Or you just want to bring cash in and buy. You want to get in a buying position so you can collect. They've got it for you at Alabama Gold Refinery. AlabamaGoldRefinery.com. Downtown Homewood, right across from the Regions Bank. All the safety and security. And a guy just knocked my disc completely over, AJ. So this thing's probably going to go out now. I'm gonna have to put some more cones by that thing. An elderly gentleman decided to do the hustle and the bump with the dish. Is it okay? We're still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
All right. We'll go to the break. Again, AGR, AlabamaGoldRefinery.com, AlabamaGoldRefinery.com. Back here in just a minute. All right, y'all. Here we go again. Leland Live, Talk 99.5 in Wall, South Dakota, hanging out here at the famous Wall Drug Tourist Stop. Some of those tourists are fans of the show, AJ. I was walking out there to fix the satellite dish, and I heard these guys yell my name. They heard my voice and recognized the show, and I tried to get them coming here to me, but they were a little bit bashful. We'll see if we can get them to do that later. Pretty cool. A lot of Alabamians come through this part of the country, and of course, people that don't know the show just walk up and stare and like, who is this guy? And why is he talking? But here we are out here keeping things going. Of course, Southern Skies Dermatology. Speaking of being on the outside, it is summertime, and I know the rains have kept a lot of folks inside so far this summer. And y'all, we got more of it. The good news is some of the new forecast models have a whole lot less rain coming toward the south, or that tropical system may not develop. And I was kind of pulling against that thing. We started getting some early indications of tropical activity, but man, I really want to show you a picture of this bulldog getting in the splash pad right now. He's about as happy as any dog I've ever seen. That dog is burning up. He found the water and ran right to it and got himself splashed. That was adorable. Anyway, yeah, he's an English bulldog, by the way. We know one of those little tough ones with the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just looking at me. I wish I could turn the camera around. Maybe I'll spot him here in just a second. But yeah, man. Alabama, excuse me, yeah. Sorry, got a little distracted there. Southern Skies Dermatology, bringing you the show tonight and taking care of business all day long when it comes to skin cancer. We're outdoor people, which is why they set up Southern Skies in the first place. They were trying to set it up so folks could be able to get checked for skin cancer. We have a high propensity of skin cancer in our part of the woods, and so they set up that shop. It was actually a previous set of doctors that set up Southern Skies and decided to we had a big need here in the South. We had a lot of high rates of cancer, and what we needed was a practice that solely focused on that, and so that's what they built. And it's pretty doggone amazing. I do appreciate them and what they do for people. And I love to get that we got a message yesterday from one of our listeners that had gone and they had spotted something that they determined was precancerous, which meant he's a little more vulnerable. He caught something so early they can now keep a vigilant check on everything that he does. And so that's, of course, what they do for him all the time. And I appreciate him reaching out. There he is, AJ. I got him on my camera now. You see that? You see a little man right there getting himself wet. Southern Skies Dermatology.com, Southern Skies Dermatology.com. Yeah, that bulldog, he's enjoying the day. We just got some poles in between us, and then some fat tourist kid just got right in the shot. So y'all hanging out here at Wall Drug this afternoon. Let's talk about something that's in the news in a very serious way, and it's explosive diarrhea. I know that I don't want to steal the franchise from Andrew McLean's show because this is a staple of what he and John Bird do every day, and I will leave this to the experts on poop and diarrhea and poop stories. But this thing is it's out there. It's the Cyclospora is the parasite that is showing up and has hit what some believe are 31 different states, and a lot of it, right, the headlines today when I got up and started reading the news is that the focus is on Taco Bell, in particular the lettuce at Taco Bell. And well, I've told you for years, y'all, quit buying all the hype about eating salad. It'll kill you. Salad will take you out. So you got to be careful with all that stuff. I even, as soon as I heard that story, I started pulling the lettuce off anything that was served to me. It's not worldwide, and it's not a big lettuce problem, but it's something to do with the supply chain at Taco Bell. AJ, when's the last time you went to Taco Bell?
1999.
Oh, really? You
No, it's been a couple of years.
I saw a meme that said, "This is not an outbreak. This has been going on for 30 years." But it's true. And we see this sometimes in grocery stores. Just a while back, they had to pull some blueberries from, I believe it was our Publix stores and some other grocery stores in our area. They had to completely pull those products because of, I think in those cases, there was some E. coli contamination, and that starts at the farm level. I don't know where these parasites come from, but what I have heard is that, and this may be why lettuce is such a factor, a lot of times you're not going to cook lettuce. Lettuce is put on, say you put it on a hamburger, you're going to cook the burger, and you're going to slap the lettuce on there, maybe melt the cheese, whatever. But if you cook whatever you eat to 159 degrees, apparently that's the only thing they believe that'll actually kill this Cyclospora that is apparently traveling around and affecting different states. The good news for us is so far on the big map of states that have reported cases, now there are hundreds of cases under investigation right now. They haven't directly been able to connect to this particular outbreak, but Alabama's not on that list right now, and that's good news. And for some reason, Taco Bell gets singled out of having this outbreak, and it's mainly if they can trace it down to what it is in Taco Bell, I think they can quickly get past any kind of PR damage, because that's what you worry about one of these things. You don't want your product, I mean, I guess the bar's low with Taco Bell because people always make the poop jokes and the diarrhea jokes when it comes to Taco Bell. Does not bother me. I don't know where people get all that, but people do it, and it's kind of an American meme. So it may be that the PR hit to them in terms of customers staying away from there until this gets cleared up is not going to be as bad. This is not political in that people are choosing not to go there for some stance they're taking, like a Bud Light situation or a Cracker Barrel situation. This is just something that we know, and we're all sophisticated enough, we'll see from time to time, and Taco Bell just needs to get a handle on it and address it as soon as they can.
They just need to change their slogan. Instead of run to the border, run to the bathroom.
Run to the potty.
You got to go to the bathroom?
It's like, yeah, y'all, this ain't an outbreak, man. Our senses are numb to this. We know what Taco Bell does to you.
Well, first of all, if your gut does not hurt after eating Taco Bell, then you are a stronger person than me, because I don't think you have to have a parasitic diarrhea worm. Because after I eat that last
Explosive.
bite, I eat that last bite of that Taco Bell, my stomach goes. I'm like,
you can hear it?
Yep.
Man, I'll go ahead and tell you, I don't do a lot of fast food anymore. I try my best to avoid it. But sometimes in a pinch, man, you're in a hurry, you're running late, you just got to do what you got to do. And Taco Bell is one of my go-tos. They're so convenient, they're everywhere. And so if I see one, I can quickly talk myself into do it. For me, it's a number 6. That's the 2 chalupas with a crunchy taco. That's my go-to. What's your go-to there? Do you know at all?
Yeah, I like the chicken chalupas. Yeah, I definitely go for that. Yeah, that's my. Now sometimes I do like the quesadilla.
Quesadilla, I've heard, is pretty good. It's as one comedian said, it's all the same ingredients,
It
just
really
in
is.
different shapes. I remember one time they had, what was it? They had this flat thing. He goes, somebody was with me and they're like, I don't want the flat thing. So he just said, here. And he folded it and handed it back to him. He said, now it's a burrito. It's the exact same thing. But yeah, look out for it. We'll let you know if we hear anything else about Cyclospora. Everybody repeat after me. Cyclospora. Apparently wrecking people's bowels in the bathroom. Now, I haven't heard about any deaths or hospitalizations, but that could be the case. Because if you think of a vulnerable person, somebody already with intestinal issues or a weak system gets hit with this kind of parasite. This is a parasitic spread, apparently, is what I'm understanding. So anyway, there's that. All right, let's see what else we can do before we get down to the bottom of the hour. We have a super busy show this afternoon. All-American Metals next up here on the show. These are my folks that can get any kind of metal project that you want done. This is what they've done since the 1960s. I love good family businesses, 2-generation businesses, and of course, All-American Metals is just that. They've been around since, like I said, the late 60s. 2 families founded this business, and they were putting up and walking steel back before I was born. And nowadays they can do it all. Big manufacturing buildings, if you got a warehouse space, if you want to expand, all the way down to what I know more about, which is the residential use of what they do. And that would be a pole barn and the kits that can be put together for that. And by the way, just because it's a pole barn and people understand the simplicity of those structures, it doesn't have to be cookie cutter. It doesn't have to be a uniform shape. Let them customize it for you and get it to fit your actual needs. You might need a little more square footage in one direction or the other. Maybe your idea should be a little wider or a little bit longer, and they can challenge you on that, because it starts with their design process where they're going to spit out a set of stamped plans and be able to use those for all the planning that you're going to have to do. In some cases, you're going to be in areas where you've got to do zoning, and maybe if you're going to do financing, the bank's going to want to see what you're building. And so they can get that for you in an engineering way. And then when you're ready, they're going to produce that building. And that's what I love about the process. They control all of it. They can actually produce the entire building, every component, put it all together in a kit, and bring it on their trucks to your property so it's all right. And then you have the comfort of knowing if there's something missing in the package or something's not exactly correct, they're right here and can immediately remediate that for you. But because they're local and working directly with you, the chances of that are super low. I can just tell you, they came out and did a patch job on a big crinkly corner of my building. It was just too high for me to get to from a situation that happened, and when they got done with it, you could not tell. And I didn't originally get those components from them, but the color was dead on. The patterns were dead on. The repair took them just a half a day. Would have taken me 2 weeks to try to do it myself. These are my folks to produce that steel building for you. Again, residential, commercial, retail build-outs, mini storage, whatever it is you got going on, it's All American Metals. Live here in Wall, South Dakota at the infamous and famous and historic Wall Drug with all the other tourists going up and down Interstate 90 heading out west. Leland Live, Talk 99.5. Y'all stay tuned. All right, y'all. Welcome back into the show, Leland Live Talk 99.5. I just had a Japanese tourist come over here and start staring at me. I was about to put her on the way. She came over and she had her hand up in the air like, I would like to ask you a question. And,
Maybe she thought you was information.
Yep. And these damn people just walk right over. They just walk right into my dish. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, good luck to me the rest of the afternoon if I don't wind up in a fight and arrested because these damn kids can't keep their. Anyway. Wall Drug, here we are having a good time in Wall, South Dakota. More on that here in just a little bit. Storm restoration. Speaking of the weather, let me see what the temperature is right now. We've got a lot of rain out there scattered around in the forecast this afternoon. Been keeping our eye on the possibility of a tropical system down in the Gulf. That doesn't look like it's going to come together, and that's good news for us. But you never know. These things are fickle. 98 degrees where I am. AJ, it's cooler in Tampa, Florida, and Birmingham, Alabama than here today. Right now, y'all are at 83. I'm jealous. For the first part of this trip, I was the one getting out of the. Here come my homeboys. Y'all want to come over here? Oh, he wants to take a selfie, but he doesn't want to be on there. You want to come and talk to me on the radio? Come here. These are folks from our hometown, as I was just talking about storm restoration, roofing. All these folks want to. AJ, I feel like a little goldfish in a goldfish tank. I can't talk him into getting on. You want to be on the radio back home? You running from the law, aren't you? I know. I've seen that look. Anyway, lots of distractions here at Wall Drugs. This place, I can tell you at any given time, there's probably 1,000 people in this little village doing this little interstate stop. It's pretty cool. Anyway, let me go back to Greg Nelson and storm restoration and the weather and all that good stuff. Man, as the weather beats down on your roof during the summertime, winter does the same thing. It's not just storms and hail and the things we would suspect. Sometimes it's just time. And if it's time, and time is eating away at your roof, there's nobody I trust more than Greg Nelson. Greg's just a good man. When you meet him, you'll understand that. He's all about one thing, that's running his roofing company the way he does. You know, he does such a good job, and they've got such success with it. Most of his kids, he's got 10 mostly grown kids, and these guys are all in his business with him there. He's taught them how to get up there on the roofs. He's got some of his daughters involved in working with the claims adjusters and the insurance companies, because that's an important interface with your roofer. They're going to go to your roofer for some explanation of why you're making the claim. And if you've got the right claim, if you've got an expert like Greg to tie it together and show to the adjuster, here's what needs to be fixed, here's what it's going to cost from us, here's the damage, you're more likely to have a legitimate claim honored by your insurance company. I'll be honest with you, and Greg wouldn't say this, he's too much of a gentleman, but there are a lot of fly-by-night companies that just show up after a storm that really give that industry a bad name. They do shoddy work or run off with people's money because they have them in a vulnerable position, and that's a bad place to be. After a storm, you got water coming in, you don't know what to do. Anybody that shows up in a truck with a crew looks like relief to you, but you could go down a terrible road with that. So that's why every night when we talk about storm restoration, I try to give you this number. And y'all take my advice. Just take some of these home services companies, stick them in your contacts in case you're looking for them. You're going to be trying to recall the name and the number, and it's going to be difficult. If you got this stuff ready to go, you'll be ready to go in a look and give you a price. It's Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, Storm Restoration Roofing. AJ, do you think we should name this buffalo back over here?
Oh, of course.
His butt is making an appearance on the show. He's on wheels. I just realized they can move this guy around. Maybe I'll turn him just a little bit. You think they'll mind? Hang on just a second. Watch.
All right, Leland is literally turning the buffalo. Ooh, it does roll. Okay. Maybe this is how the buffalo roams.
He's heavier than I thought he was. I don't want to damage. I'm afraid I'm going to break his leg off or something. I have to pay for a buffalo. Oh, gosh. That thing is huge, man. Oh, he's furry, too.
Is it a real buffalo, or is it just like
it's a real stuffed buffalo, man. It's
wow.
They taxidermied a buffalo and stuck him out here. He's just one of the many symbols. If you can see far down that way, they've got a bucking bronco cowboy kind of guy. This is cowboy country, man. We're still up in it. Let me show you something else.
Well, is he a friend when you lose a friend?
Yes. All I know is also Wall Drug, what they're famous for are these entertaining billboards along Interstate 90. I saw the first one coming east, way back into Wyoming, and as soon as you hit the South Dakota border, and I've heard they've got them in other states, there are wall drug billboards to steer you into this place. They make Alex Shinora look like a Sunday school teacher. I mean, they're all over it. Now, if I zoom in right here, and I'm sorry if y'all are listening on the radio, you can't see any of this stuff. Just use your imagination. That's about as tight as I can get on that shot. Way in the back there is a mechanical dinosaur. Now, look, not everybody wants a mechanical dinosaur. And yes, they understand this. You see his head? Can you see him back there?
Yes.
So that thing just sits there in the corner, and little kids come get their picture made with, as you can see. But in a minute, that thing will just go off, and his eyes light up, and he starts roaring and moving his head around. You see him moving his head? And it freaks the little kids out to no end, and it's the funniest thing in the world to watch. Because I don't know if their parents always tell them that you see him moving, he's about to. When it starts, I think this loud lightning or something goes off, and it scares the hell out of the kids. It's insane to watch. But so it's a lot of gimmicky stuff and a lot of fun stuff too. When you're weary on the road, a lot of people travel by car and with a set of wheels to get out. And that's how this whole place got started. Wall is actually across from the Badlands, and it's the Badlands Park. This is kind of the gateway to it. The whole town, which is a tiny little town, is the gateway to the whole place. And do you want to come over? Come over. All right. So I think we actually have a. We'll just stay with the whole thing. Come over here and grab this microphone. Let me.
Looks like Leland's getting ready to get a guest here as the system decided to go ahead and crap out on him just a little bit. I'm going to try to filibuster as much as I possibly can.
Frank,
there he is. Okay,
Wall,
we're back.
South Dakota originally, and I'm human resources at Wall Drug.
Okay, and she's the one that caught me out in the alley and got me parked, and you guys showed up with a cart. I was bragging on you earlier. You had a whole team of people that let me get in here. And the thing is, when I called Rick, is Rick the owner?
He's right there.
Well, Rick, get over here. We'll drag Rick into this and get a little bit of history, get a history lesson for you here at Wall Drug too. Let me move myself into the frame. We're multitasking here. Rick, we appreciate you having us. When I called Rick, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it's the first time we've met, but he was so gracious. I explained what I wanted to do. I said, we got this little show back in Alabama. We just want to come hang out and show the folks back home what we do. Rick, come up here to the mic, and we'll chat with you real quick. But I thank you a whole lot for letting us take up a little bit of your time over here in the corner by the buffalo. We've showed the buffalo's butt quite a bit on our camera this afternoon. Thank you for having us today.
You bet.
You guys were so nice for us getting in here. Tell us a little bit of the history of Wall and how this all wound up being here like this.
Well, my grandparents, Ted and Dorothy Husted, purchased a property on the other side of Main Street in 1931.
Okay.
It was a patent medicine store, and Ted was a pharmacist, so it instantly became a drugstore. But it was the dirty 30s. It was the Dust Bowl era. It was the worst possible time to start anything. Nobody in the area really had any money. And so they were barely making it. They were given it 5 years. Ted and Dorothy were living in back of the store, which was 24 by 60, in the last 20 feet behind a brown curtain with their 4-year-old son, Billy, my dad.
Oh, wow. And from there, all this happened.
Well, they were going broke. They were at the end of, they were given it 5 years. They're at the end of the 5 years. My grandmother was across town giving Billy a nap, and I just learned in the last 6 months, and my godmother, Mary, who'd just been born, and listened to all the traffic going out of US 16 out of the Badlands and 14 through Wall on their way to Black Hills and on the way to the Black Hills in Rapid City.
Yeah.
And she thought, here all these people are going, and US 1416 out of the Badlands wasn't paved then.
This is all dirt.
All dirt.
Dusty,
hot day.
Yeah.
And she thought how hot and thirsty these travelers are. Here we sit with a great big soda fountain, all the ice in the world, and no customers. And she had an idea. She asked the lady, would you watch Billy and Mary? I need to go down to the store and talk to Ted. And when she got there, she said, Ted, we have to let people know we're here. We should put up a sign, get a soda, get a beer, turn next corner just as near to Highway 16 and 14, free ice water, Wall Drug. And Ted thought that was a little corny, but it might work. We weren't even, that was the moment we became Wall Drug, named after the town wall that sits on the wall of the Badlands. Before that, the business was Husted Drugstore, after
Okay.
the family.
Yeah.
But Ted liked it. He thought we have nothing to lose. He hired a high school boy, and it was like a Burma shave series.
Right.
And he went out, got the location, and hand painted them, and put the signs up. And before Ted got back to the store, the first customers had stopped. They were giving out glasses of free ice water, selling Coca-Colas, ice cream cones, knickknacks, and snacks. And instantly, they weren't going broke anymore. And my grandpa was very persistent. He thought if one sign had this kind of impact, what would 20 or 30 Wall Drug signs along the highways leading to Wall do? And he kept putting up more signs.
And then and that was in the 30s, and then it grew into what I can only describe it as a little mini town. I mean, you've got a whole town here.
Well, and a lot of the other businesses in town evolved from
Sure.
the amount of business we bring in. And in 1943, my dad was going to high school at a Catholic boys boarding school in Sioux City, Iowa, and he would hitchhike there. And they did so well that in 1942 they were able to move up a building from Wasta, 11 miles west of here.
Yeah.
And it was 3,000 square feet. My grandmother said, "What are we going to do with all this room?" Tripling the amount of square footage.
Yeah.
And so then Bill was hitchhiking during the war years to his school, the Catholic Boys Boarding School, 385 miles away. And people would say, "Where are you from, young man?" He'd say, "I'm from Wall." And they say, "Oh, that's where that little drugstore is with all those signs."
With the water.
With
Yeah.
the free ice water and no indoor plumbing. For restrooms, we had outhouses like the country.
Wow.
It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
And so he found that embarrassing. He started telling people he was from Wasta. No Wall Drug conversation.
You just shut that down.
But
Yeah.
it did make an impression on him. He thought, if
Yeah.
I ever come back into the family business, and I don't know that I will, but if I ever do, I will try to build Wall Drug into something spectacular. And when he came back in '51, you got to be ass back in a family business.
Exactly.
And so they knew they were doing so much business that they knew they needed him to really keep the momentum going. He came back, and when we came back in '51, I was only a year old, and my baby brother Teddy had just been born. When we came back, Wall Drug was at about 4,000 square feet. Bill, in his 48-year career, took it to 76,000 square feet.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
And what is it now? With
76,000.
You're still at 76?
I mean, that's pretty big.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, yeah.
And I thought, is Dad going to build something so big that it's going to be hard for me to run down the road? But anyway, it stopped there. But we have room for further expansion.
And so you also do the 5-cent coffee. That's one of the things that I always hear about too. That's kind of a neat thing inside the restaurant as well. People put a nickel, get the coffee.
Yeah, we got an honor box. You put the nickel in the box to get the coffee, and then we advertise. In the mid to late 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And a little business gonna put up signs in free donuts and coffee for all U.S. military veterans.
Yeah.
That was, and we do it to this day.
So, what's the furthest billboard? I've seen the billboards 150 miles from here. What's the furthest one you've got up
Well,
for your signs?
Be probably one of our Minnesota signs.
All the way to
a
Minnesota.
regular board, probably
Yeah.
350 miles.
Yeah, yeah. And it works. It still works.
Oh, that's why we're in business. That's what kept us in business, and it's why we're still in business to this day.
You've had movies shot in here. I've seen this as a backdrop for films and a lot of television production come through here.
Nomadland was shot here.
Yeah. Yeah, I was telling the audience about that movie last night. It's the first time I'd ever heard of you guys. I was watching the movie. There's that part of the plot where she comes and gets a job here. So did Frances McDormand come and work here, and just was that your staff all around her, and how did that go?
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
And she was amazing. She actually waited on customers on the side counter and making the hot beef sandwiches.
And some people had no idea, I guess.
No idea. No,
Yeah.
I mean, consummate actress.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
in character. She would be in her green shirt with her green cap, taking breaks with the staff.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, she was amazing.
Well, look, there's so much history here and so much we can talk about. Anything else we need to know before we get to the break? And thank you again for just letting us come over here and make noise in the corner.
Well, it's a family business. My wife Pat and I are third generation. We have our daughter Sarah Husted in business. She's been back 14 years, and she's vice president of the corporation and a significant holder, and the next generation to run it.
How's the summer traffic going? I mean, we always gauge the economy by certain things. So is it okay this year, or is it up or down, or
you know,
what are
we
looking
just
at?
we just had a tourism meeting in our upstairs dining room, and year to date at the beginning of June we were up 3%, or no, at the end of June we were up 3%. May we were up 8.5%. June was dead heat with last year, and I just checked July's statistics. We're up 9.5% in July. So that's
Wow,
awesome.
that's good. And that's despite the gas prices and things that would dissuade people to getting on the road. I love that.
Well, and that came up at this tourism meeting.
Yeah.
People are doing different things. Maybe people with campers, maybe they're going to drive.
Sure, exactly.
To save on
That's
some
what we're
fuel.
doing. Yeah. Well, look, Rick, thank you again, and Amanda, thank you for the hospitality.
You're
And if y'all want to come over and do any more on the show, I'm here till 5 o'clock. So
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
there's Rick, the owner here at Wall Drug, and AJ, I hope all that got on the air. I had to turn my back from the cameras for a second. What a nice man. These people out here are natural storytellers. They love to tell you. If you ask them something, they're just so complete and articulate in the way to describe things, and I get fascinated with it. Okay. Good times out here in Wall, South Dakota. If you ever find yourself out on the interstate, heading east, going to see Mount Rushmore, you know, the thing about Rapid City sits near the Black Hills. It sits near the Badlands. It sits near Crazy Horse, Mount Rushmore. There's so much to do just in that town alone. And we are, I had to make a drive of about 50 minutes, is about an hour, to get from Rapid City out here today to hang out in Wall. So anyway, fun times. All right, quick break. Let me talk to you about Allen and Company. You got, oh, there goes the dinosaur, Joe. You see him? You can't really hear him. I don't have sound in there, but he's tripping out on the kids with all the flashing lights. Allen and Company bringing you the show tonight. That is, of course, our friends, the Thompson family over there in Vestavia, ready for all of your gift giving. If you got something to give this summer, y'all start thinking about it. I mean, it's already mid-July, and if it's something in the way of fine jewelry, that can be expensive if you're doing something super nice for somebody. And they've got all these ways to help you do that in the most low-pressure environment, but to get exactly what you want. And that's because you're dealing with the jeweler himself, which is Allen and his family. And, you know, they're just so intuitive, I guess, in how to handle people. In other words, say you want her to go by and browse for a little bit and look and change your mind and go back and look. They'll just keep notes. They'll keep a little coded system to find exactly what she really wants. And then, guys, you can still get the element of surprise. You can go make that purchase. They've got financing, and it all works out for everybody when you're going to take a chance on a nice piece like that. Ring upgrades from the original wedding set, engagement settings, all kinds of other gift giving, and then custom stuff. If you want to create a piece that commemorates something past relative, as some of our folks have done here at the station, or some of the cool things that AJ's done there to commemorate his heritage, I think it's just neat what they're capable of doing for you at Allen and Company. They're in Vestavia, very small shop by design, very low pressure shop. This is the way jewelry shopping ought to be. It is Allen and Company in Vestavia, right there on Highway 31. Back here in a minute from Wall Drug. Y'all stay tuned. It's 2:56. Leland Live, Talk 99.5, Douglas Heating and Cooling. I could use them right now. It's 99 degrees where I stand. All of us in the summertime, in the South particularly, and when you travel out west and you get in this drier climate, I think the humidity yesterday was about 6%. It does make a difference in how the heat feels. And for me back home, when the humidity's up like that, I just cannot sleep at night unless I get it dry and cold. That's the other function of your heating and air system. It sort of removes that moisture from inside your house in addition to keeping it cool. Douglas is the company to handle all that. You got to maintain the service. Douglas is going to come out and take a look at it. If you just want a cleaning, they'll do a cleaning. If something needs repairing, they're going to show you what needs repairing and just do that. This is not one of those high pressure companies that try to upsell you into doing an install when you don't need an install. So many companies are just built on that model. That is not their model. It's trust and honesty and straightforward pricing and honest, competent technicians and people that they send out to your house to take care of business. That's what they built it on, and that's their reputation. They want to maintain that. So they want you to continue to use them because air conditioner maintenance is an ongoing thing. You got to do the cleanings twice a year. You got to every now and then fix something, especially in the South where the heat is so brutal on our systems. So y'all let Douglas become your company. I think once you use them, and it can start with just doing the service plan, but then it can move from there. You'll find that this is just a top-notch company. They can also do, of course, plumbing services as well. They're just square with you. That's what they do. It is Douglas Cooling and Heating, license number 2017181. Of course, you can get them at calldouglas.com, C-A-L-L, calldouglas.com. So for lunch, AJ, I got, I don't know if you can see my cup here on the camera. I got a big old tea, right? And the thing got empty because I'm out here draining that thing as hot as it is. So I went in there to grab, it says free ice water here on the cup. Went in there to either grab a free ice water or to get some tea. And I'm not saying a zoo, but yeah, it was so crowded with tourists. I'm just outside the restaurant. I had to fight my way through there. I was a little bit rude. I just had to barge in. I had 2 minutes to get this tea, but I made it. I made it back to the microphone. There's a lot of energy going on, which is kind of why we're setting up out here by Mr. Buffalo over here. Did you ever name my Buffalo friend? Say Bill. That's too easy.
Buffalo Bill. Well, I don't know you want to name him Buffalo Bill.
I got so many, so I'm just going to let them just kind of sit right there. All right, y'all. Still on the road. Again, the show brought to you by our friends at Appalachian Foothills RV Repair Center and RV Park. They're up in Winfield. And you may think, well, that's a long way away. It's really not. When you're traveling anyway, getting on up the road to get the kind of service they have or the kind of expertise they have, they're up there in the epicenter of the RV construction industry in our whole state. We make some of the finest RVs in the world right there in Red Bay, Alabama, and they're just down the road. A lot of these folks have factory experience there at Tiffin, and they're ready to do your paint jobs, fix your appliances and your systems and all the things that can go wrong, or just the routine maintenance, oil changes and stuff you got to do from time to time, service on your hot water system. They've done all that for me for years. I really do trust them. Stan and the whole team. It's Appalachian Foothills RV and Service Center.